Alright, what's going on, you fam? Raiyuden here. So today's data mine is going to be a little bit different, I suppose. I think Renzi's too busy in order to get us some early information, but we have some bits and pieces of the new characters' kits here. Unfortunately, we won't have their stats, but we do know what the character can do, so that's worth talking here. So a big shout out to Spider over on Twitter for putting it in a nice, neat and concise manner for us to take a read here. Starting with Perfect Cell, his main ability: draw the ultimate arts card Solar Kamehameha, restore on health by 30%, key by 30, apply attribute upgrade minus 50% to enemy sustained damage cut effects for 20 timer counts, inflict all enemies with attribute downgrade minus 80% to health restoration for 40 timer counts. So it's a pretty standard main ability. You're going to be getting some key, health, damage passive, and probably an ultimate, so that's really good. Now, this is like, when I just saw, when you bring it up and you just see that quick glimpse, your eye just scans what you're looking at here. I already saw this part, and it was just mwah, chef's kiss of what we were looking for. Passive number 1, plus 30% to damage inflicted against Hybrid Saiyans. Beautiful. Plus 20% to damage inflicted against Hybrid Saiyans or Saiyans. So my hope is that this is not like a display issue. This isn't something that was written twice. I really hope that that says plus 50% extra damage done to Hybrid Saiyans. That is what we're looking for. That is nice to see. Now, continuing with his passive, applies the following effects to self when the battle starts. Plus 80% to damage inflicted, which cannot be cancelled. So you're fighting a Hybrid Saiyan, 130% damage inflicted just out the gate. Just Cell being there, ready to beat the crap out of some Rugrats is perfect. Reduces damage received by 40%, which cannot be cancelled. This is where I'm concerned. I'm going to be honest with you. For whatever reason, Legends has this weird thing that they do where if the reduced damage received passive percentage is high, the defensive stats tend to be low, if that makes sense. I'm very concerned that this Cell is a bit of a glass cannon. Unfortunately, we can't see his stats right now because it's not available. We only have his kit, but the 40% reduced damage received is beyond any of the characters that we have right now. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, for example, his permanent lasting reduced damage received passive is 30%. So for Cell to be beating a defense type, I can't help but feel like his defensive stats are actually going to be low. He may be a bit of a glass cannon. Now, paired alongside that though, -3 to all his arts costs, which is great, nice for comboing, and he has card draw speed. Isn't that beautiful? Card draw speed, 130% damage inflicted, reduced arts cost is a perfect combination for a very, very long combo. Now, the following effects occur every time he faces an enemy. He restores 30 ki, a character that punishes you for playing defensively. Those characters are my favorite. So Cell's going to do his combo, you're going to switch to a different character, you're going to give him 30 ki, and a plus 10% to damage inflicted passive for 15 timer counts. So this already impressive 80% or 130%. Actually, it's probably always going to be 130% because you're always going to be facing Hybrid Saiyans. You're giving him another 10% and more ki. He's just going to be kicking the crap out of you. I wish this drew another card for him, to be honest, but that would be way too oppressive at that point. And then, every time you switch, inflicts the enemy with the attribute downgrade, plus 15% to special move and special arts costs for 10 timer counts. That's going to be great. Your purple Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, you're going to try and use a green card, that's a negative. It's going to cost like 999 ki. You're not going to be able to pull off any of those, which is awesome. Now, while this character is on the battlefield, I'm going to assume this is now the second passive. Everything after the following effects occur, blah, 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 this is the second passive. Actually, no, he writes passive number 2 over there. So basically, Cell has a dictionary for his passives, which is nice. While this character is on the battlefield, applies the following effects to the enemy. When a character triggers a revival, he takes away 4 Dragon Balls. This entire time it's either been you gain 2, they lose 2. No, Cell says, hey, no, that's not enough. 4. I want 4 of those taken away from you. I want to take away 100 of your ki, and not just that. I want to take away all the ki recovery you could possibly have. He basically shuts you down. Not only do you lose your not only do you lose your first life, you lose all your ki, so you can't even retaliate, and you lose your ability to charge ki, which basically means for 3 timer counts, you are a sitting duck. You will not have a rush to counter. You will not have any cards to use to counter. You basically can't do anything but dodge. If your character is a purple Gohan, first life, the last stand, if Cell is the guy to prop off your revival, you cannot fight back. You as the Cell can just be aggressive. Go ahead, attack him. He can't do anything but dodge. And then what do? You rise and rush the crap out of him. Cell quite literally has the perfect anti-hybrid Saiyan kit thus far. That's only his first passive. Now let's go look at the second passive. Nullifies Abnormal Condition Paralyzed, which is great, because for whatever reason he is an anti-Hercule. I know he fought Hercule at the beginning of the Cell games. Hercule challenged him, but that's just funny to me that they literally put this right here just so Hercule can't be a pain against you. Applies the following effects to enemy when changing cover. Randomly destroy 1 card, take away Dragon Balls, which activates twice. You take away 1 of them. And if you cover change against a blast card, you can combo it with either a blue card or a green card. Now moving on to the next page, because this is a giant dictionary. While this character is on the battlefield, restore unique gauge according to key charge time. So this is where Cell is unique. Kind of like UI Goku, he has a secondary gauge. But unlike UI Goku, his is for a more offensive front. Think of it as like a power boost. He's going to full power. While you're charging your ki, you charge that unique gauge, and it sounds like when that hits the max, Cell goes to full power. You trigger all his passives. So, applies the following effects to self once the unique gauge is full, which only happens once. You'll restore 200% of your health. You will gain 50% additional damage inflicted. Holy crap! So Cell, not even fighting any Hybrid Saiyans, will do 130% damage inflicted. If he's fighting Hybrid Saiyans, what is he doing? What is that? 80, 50, 50, 180% damage inflicted if you were to get off this unique gauge. Dude, Cell is cracked. Cell is ridiculous. So, plus 50% to damage inflicted. Reduces damage received by 15%. Remember, he already is floating around with the 40%. So now he's looking at 55% reduced damage received. Another reason why I can't help but fear that his damage, his defensive stats are pretty much non-existent. But look, now -3 to arts cost again. He has card draw speed. He probably has really good key recovery. He has insane damage inflicted passives. This dude is going to be a comboing machine. He's going to be so oppressive. Plus 50% to ult damage inflicted. It's perfect. Solar Kamehameha, just annihilate everything. That's amazing. His blue card deals massive impact damage, 40% to special move damage inflicted for 3 timer counts upon activation, your standard stuff. Unfortunately, it is a close ranged version, so it's not your ranged Kamehameha. You're not going to be able to catch people long range with the sidestep. It's going to be your, I guess think of it as LF Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Blast Armor, close range, blue card. It does pack a punch though. His green card, plus 15% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts upon activation. The following effects occur on hit. So this isn't on activation. You have to hit them to get this. You increase owned unique gauge by 30%, so the one where he gets the cool buff. Restore owned vanish gauge by 70%. I like this because this is what Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 4 Goku should have got. Him swapping out or landing a green card should have had him restore vanish. It was a missed opportunity for a really cool unit. Reduces enemy ki by 70 with blast armor charging forward. Big thumbs up, I like it. That's awesome. I think that's great. His ultimate is supreme impact damage, so high multiplier. Applies the following effects to self upon activation. 30% to damage inflicted by his ult for 3 timer counts. Completely says no to insurance, and it has blast armor, so it's another close range attack. And his Z abilities, I originally assumed it was going to be androids, and then regen, and then powerful opponent. But it looks like I was almost there. I was thinking he's probably going to be a purple unit for androids, just because they desperately needed a purple unit, and looks like we're almost there. Regen, strike, attack, and defense, or android, strike, attack, and defense, or regen, android, powerful opponent. Nice. I can comfortably say that this kit is probably one of the best in the game. This is a very, very scary kit. The fear is the stats. If his offensive stats and defensive stats are gimped because he has so many % damage inflicted passives and whatever, it can be a bit concerning, because if you sidestep and Gohan blue cards you, goodbye. You're dead. My hope is that he's not a supreme wet noodle. He's supposed to be the perfect being, not the perfectly cooked spaghetti. I want the guy to actually have some tanking, so please have some solid stats, Cell, please. Now, unfortunately, with this cell also comes another version of that goddamn rat. Isn't that great? There is an EX version of this Gohan. We may as well take a look at him. So, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, whatever, his main ability, he gets a blue card, gets 50 ki, restores his Vanish to 100%, so that's always great. I think he needed that. Hybrid Saiyans needed restoring Vanish. Plus 20% to blast damage inflicted for 20 timer counts, and plus 80% to his next blue card damage inflicted. Pretty appropriate because he just drew one as part of his main. His first passive applies the following effects to self when this character shows up on the battlefield. A 50% damage inflicted passive, which cannot be stacked, but it can be cancelled. That's great. Reduces damage received by 30% for 10 timer counts, and nullifies attribute downgrades for 10 timer counts. I guess that's okay. He is an EX character, so I don't know how much it's going to help him, considering he will definitely have lower defensive stats. Plus 50% to own ki recovery for 5 timer counts when ki is 50 or lower after using an arts card. That's cool. I don't think we've seen a passive like this since Beerus, actually. Getting really fast ki recovery if you're below a certain threshold, so I guess it's neat. Passive number 2, applies the following effects to self according to the number of remaining enemy battle members when this character enters. If your opponent has 3 battle members, he will do plus 60% to blast damage inflicted. If you are winning and you took care of one of their characters, he gets 30%. So what? Gohan's getting weaker as you're winning? What the hell, Gohan? Are you? He's the opposite of the red version. He's getting weaker over time. The red one gets stronger over time. Is that interesting? I guess this Gohan was meant to be your fodder rush unit, because at the end it says restore ally health by 15% when the character is defeated. There you go. There's your Rising Rush fodder, this blue Gohan, if you decide to use him. His blue card, massive impact damage, and when you hit the opponent with it, they take 20% additional blast damage for 15 timer counts. His green card draws a blue card, restores own ki by 40. Sorry, it draws a blast card, restores own ki by 40, and he gets a 20% blast damage inflicted passive. And his Z ability is 20% to Hybrid Saiyan, base blast attack and defense. At 3 stars, it's going to be Hybrid Saiyans and Sun Family. Hey, look at that. He buffs both of those. Neat. Just what they needed. And then outside of that, this new login bonus, just to celebrate the fall, I suppose. We also have a new upcoming raid, which is cool. You know, a big thumbs up to Legends for releasing more and more of these raids, because no matter how you feel about them, at the end of the day, they are really good for gathering resources. The CC farming, the souls, the erasers. For me, it's useful. I'm sure others feel the same way. May not be the best gameplay, but resources are resources, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And then outside of that, I think there's not too much, unfortunately. One thing that I did note is this may be a hint at us being able to farm up a full Cell Junior team. They've been making this nice little push for minions, as you saw with the Frieza Force, as well as the Cybermen that we just got recently, so that's really cool. My hope is that soon we see something for maybe Super Warriors, or any other lower represented tag. But anyways, that's pretty much the gist of things. Doesn't look like there's a new equip anywhere. How do you guys feel about the Cell? What do you think about the Gohan? Is he as impressive as he thought he would be? I think Cell is fantastic based off of kit and animations. I think his animations are pretty cool too, but I'm really hoping his stats are not crap. My fear is that he has EX level stats with all these damage inflicted passives, especially the defensive stuff, so we'll have to see. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be doing early showcase as well as summons and all that other good stuff. So we get to see these characters in action. You don't want to miss out. Until then, peace.